Alright, hello YouTube. You guys gotta follow me, right? Mr. NWO. Mr. NWO on YouTube. Follow me. What I'm trying to do is I want to revolutionize Puerto Rico. Sure, I'll find it for you while I'm doing this. Let's see here. Mr. NWO. Alright, so just to give you some background, I had a singularity happen in my mind, and I am perfect. You just want to subscribe to that and then watch it a little bit. So it's kind of playing out little by little, but proof in the pudding. I've identified the points that are going to help establish order as quickly as possible. It's kind of like farmers prepare for the harvest. Artificial intelligence is on its way, and right now our minds are interacting with the digital realm, and some people are learning more than others. I just saw a beautiful grandmother that was learning about emotional intelligence, learning about the importance of, hey, it's really important. Just because someone dresses differently might actually be something that's offensive to you, but realize that they're just on their own conscious journey, trying to be them, who they are, and they're trying to find their identity. They're like, oh, so we should be respectful of the individual journey. Yeah, okay, all right. So emotional intelligence is the most important thing, and I just have to say as well that right now I want to talk about learning. Just learning, because this is something that I'm realizing. I used to think, I can only fit so much in my mind. When I was studying biology and biochemistry up at the University of Utah. And it was like, this is so stressful. First off, whatever head game you tell yourself, that's the head game you're manifesting, and you're limiting. That's the limiting factor behind your learning. So cognitively shape a more constructive mechanism by which you visualize how you learn. And I'm going to share mine, okay? So I don't know if you've ever been in a dark room, but it helps to have a flashlight, right? You can point the flashlight, and wherever the light is, you can see, and you can walk safely. That's kind of the way learning is, especially about the world. The more you realize, the more you learn, the more you realize, holy cow, this world's a big place. And when you shine a light on it and then turn it off, it kind of disappears, and you're like, I forgot about that. But if you just keep shining on it until it becomes part of your memory, that repetition, this is called Heather learning, if I'm not mistaken, but that can really help. And then the visualization that I'm currently, which I'm pretty sure this happens by the time you're 40 years old, if you're in academics, you inevitably will have come across some mechanism by which you can cognitively frame learning. And I'm going to describe how it is for me. For me, the brain is like a universe. It's like your own universe. And if you think about like a beach ball, this is kind of how I view it, like being on the inside of the beach ball and looking at the walls of the beach ball, only it's much bigger than that. So everything you learn, you can stick to one facet of that wall of the inside of the beach ball, which is your mind, and it creates a more whole experience cognitively for you. And the cool part is the more you add, the more value this concept brings to the table. Just imagine having a beach ball that's completely downloaded with all sorts of information for you to effectively frame your world. That is how most people with PhDs or people that have pursued academics for a long period of time, that's where they end up. And I have to say, it's more of like a challenge, not like, oh, I don't know, look at all this stuff I don't know. it's more just kind of like, oh, well, there's that. Now I know that. And then you get frustrated like I do. It's kind of hard to remember certain things. Memory happens. Memory happens as you dictate it to. There's a story about Socrates. It's one of my favorite stories. The wise philosopher. He said he had a guy come visit him, and he says, "I want to know everything you know. How do you know so much? How do you know what you know?" Socrates says, "All right, you want to know what I know? Well, I'm going to follow you. Why don't you follow me down to the beach? Stick your head under the ocean, and right when you can't breathe anymore and you've got that panic for air, keep it down a little bit longer. When you're panicking, you're like, I can't do it anymore, keep it down a little bit longer," Socrates says, "and until you want knowledge, until you thirst for knowledge like you thirst for air." A la izquierda. That is the mechanism by which intelligence is distilled in the minds of men. Socrates was a smart dude. He knew what he was doing. So now if you take that principle and you're like, well, maybe I just need to try harder, push harder, or try to learn harder. And what's the motivation if your beach ball is empty, right? What's the motivation? Well, the thing of it is it's never empty. In fact, you look at it and it's to you full, regardless of how ignoramus or how minuscule the intelligence that you have is. So adding to it and sticking to it and just continuing down the path is kind of what I'm working on. And again, I've identified the most efficient points of origin of change, and that's proof of the singularity. And America can kind of leave it in the dust if they want. They don't want to update it. That's fine. But I've got some solutions for you coming through, and together we are better as human beings. Because I've traveled the world and learned a lot of cultural intelligence about Hinduism, and my consciousness was like, oh, it's so beautiful. When you laugh, even when you don't feel like it, when it happens unspontaneously, the physiological response it doesn't discriminate. It's not, the physiological response is not connected to spontaneous intelligence that causes the laughter. No, the fact of the matter is our physiology, our body is waiting for you to be the master and commander of it. You, whoever you are watching this, waiting for you to be the master and commander. And right now I'm being blocked, I'm being shadow banned. But I believe in myself, and this is where the New World Order came from. The New World is a digital world, and we can unite. So there's a little Facebook Live, and hopefully I get some followers and some love, and you guys can stop sabotaging me so I can get some funding as soon as possible, because this is gonna flow. We're humans first. And the deep state, I love you so much. The United States is awesome. You have the power to destroy. Don't destroy me, please. I've got a lot of value I can bring to the table. Over and out. Have a good evening, guys. Oh, I wonder who's, I got a person who's watching me, who's following me. It's good. Share it with friends. If this is something that maybe you can benefit from, or a friend can benefit from, share it. Let's get some subscribers as soon as possible. Thank you.